my name is Jocelyn from Cheeky DIY Home, and I love all things home decor and DIY. Now, I especially love an affordable DIY hack, and today I am reviewing edge banding hack. First, this is an iron-on. We typically use this to iron on onto the ugly sides of plywoods when you are doing cabinetry or something like that. Now, Emily took this to another element here, and she decided to use this kind of as a design feature on whatever wood pieces you can come to mind, plus some. Now, I'm super lucky because I got to speak with Emily. She created this edge banding hack, and we talk about how to do this, the little mistakes that you can make along the way, and much more. So stay tuned and let's talk to Emily. Hi.
Hey.
So we are recording right now, but basically I wanted to talk to you about your edge banding hack. I guess my first thing I wanted to know was, first, how did you come up with this, I guess?
Yeah, so I was a part of a DIY week and I needed to come up with like a project that could be done in a day. And I love geometrics, and the geometric trend is like still going strong. So I was like thinking about doing it on a tray, something small enough to get done in a day. And then just kind of out of the necessity of keeping it thin and accessible and something I could get at the hardware store, I thought of edge banding. And so that's where it came about.
That's awesome. So I also saw, I was on your website, which is amazing, by the way. You have like a ton of designs for this specific hack, which is super cool. I'll link that and show it here too. But I saw you have like background in mathematics and architecture.
I do, yeah.
So that helps enormously, right?
Right. So, you know, a lot of people in this design space are like super artistic, and they are who I turn to when I need help with paint colors and, you know, design elements. But for me, I'm super mathematical. So I can calculate angles and like figure out, you know, how to build something because I can start to see through some of the steps. So that's kind of what my strength is. And then that shows up in what I do, basically, because I love geometry and it kind of
That is so awesome. Yeah, like I saw you had the perpendicular out and everything, and I was like, oh my God, am I gonna be able to do this?
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's really, most of it is based on like the 45-degree angle, like if you're creating X's.
Yeah.
And so a basic square will get you that, and you can do it with that.
Which actually, like, I own speed squares, but to be honest, I actually have only purchased them because I know one day I'm gonna need them. It's obviously an essential tool, but I haven't really used it besides literally doing a straight line to get a straight edge.
Yeah.
From at least what I know is obviously 45 degrees, 90. We know that.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm feeling this now, and it feels like wood. It's like made out of wood, right?
It is, yeah. It's just it's like a wood veneer, and it's got adhesive on the back.
Yeah.
Like they sell you know, veneer plywood. Like basically you could buy oak plywood and it's got oak veneer on the top, and then the edge banding is supposed to cover those ugly edges around the other side of the plywood. But this is just a way to like use it on the surface instead of just on
my cutting mat has a few degrees on it. It has 60, 45, and 30. Did you use that as well, or?
Yeah, if you don't want to use this, if you don't have a speed square, you could get it lined up, you know, this way, and then lay your ruler on that 45 and then cut that way.
So this is just me going this way here, and I guess what you're saying is, let me find my 45 actually before I get this wrong. Okay, so this is my 45-degree line. Can you see this?
Uh-huh.
My 45-degree line is here. I would then, this is my straight edge, and then box cutter here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just kind of, oops, go like this. Okay, it's really too fancy. I went pretty thin there, but it came out pretty nice.
Yeah.
Is that what you recommend? Like the whole
process? I think that's perfect. And then a couple of passes. Don't try to get it all in the first pass, because then you know, you might mess up. So just scoring until it breaks.
Perfect. Okay, so I thought I had to get it all done in one shot.
Oh, no, you actually don't. Yeah. I probably do like 3.
Okay. We obviously know it works on wood.
Right.
Do we know stain?
You know, I haven't done it on stain yet. It works on raw wood. I don't see a problem with the stain because stain is like soaked up by the wood. I've had issues with painted surfaces, it peeling off. So give it a really good like scrap sanding before you go on a painted surface. It doesn't have to be back to raw, but just like enough for it to grab onto.
Okay.
And then I've had followers who have had success on like melamine, like a Target furniture piece or an IKEA piece, working on that. So
really? Okay, I'm gonna try it. When you noticed that it was like peeling off, how long did that take for you?
Pretty instant. Like I when I just like hit the edge, it would, you know, come up. It was like, oh, okay, it didn't adhere as well as it needed to. So
okay. And then if I wanted to go over like a bent surface, did you have trouble? Have you tried that?
Like a true, like a
Like a
45
90-degree,
angle?
yeah.
90. Yeah. So, well, when I did the furniture flip challenge and I did it on a furniture piece, I basically I did like a pattern here and then a straight edge here, but you could continue a pattern over if you wanted to, but you would need to make like a cut line because it's
Okay.
not, when it bends, like the wood fibers wouldn't bend. So
Gotcha.
you'd need a cut here or a score even on the front to be able to fold it over.
Okay.
You know, you can do this with your household iron. Like you don't need a crafting iron to do it.
Right. Yeah. And I guess my concern with the regular iron is I imagine you just have to have your steam off. Right?
Yeah, I would do, steam off. And then, you know, kind of the iron, if it curves, you just need to like use a flat part of it basically to get in there.
I'm just going to walk you through this with me. So we're just going to iron this on. This is a stained surface. I hold it for a few seconds or.
Yeah.
This is just a random piece here.
Right. Yeah. Just get it, you know, once the glue gets hot, it'll basically adhere.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can already tell it's getting hot.
Yeah, it looks like it's good on there. You know, sometimes I've had it to where as it starts to cool, it might start to try to curl. So I will run my ruler over it as soon as you pull away that iron.
Okay, I just started moving this. I moved my iron, I think, too soon, and I can see the glue with it. That was
Yeah, it might have just like wiggled with your iron.
Yeah, so probably try not to move it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let this go for maybe like 5 seconds, and then you just apply pressure, basically.
Yeah, just flat pressure with yeah, that'll work.
Okay, but we do know it works on a stained surface clearly.
Yeah, there it goes.
And it doesn't lift. I'm not seeing any lifting. But... Okay, yeah, it's not even moving.
That's awesome. I've had, you know, if it does, like if it ends up in the wrong spot, just run the iron over it again and then pull it because you can get it hot again and then remove it.
Now, have you somehow let it stay, like, let's say you messed up and then you found out, oh no, I don't really like it that way. Have you gotten to the opportunity where you have removed it? Actually, we can try with this one right now if you haven't. But, and then been able to like maybe sand it down and then reapply? Have you done that yet? Have you
like sand down your base surface?
Yeah, I don't know, like, do you need to?
I wouldn't even think you'd need to because it just has adhesive on there, which is gonna just grab it again anyway. So
this is actually really hard to remove.
Just heat it up. Like if it gets hot, it should pull right off.
Okay, we'll try this. This is an experiment.
Yeah, here, show me. I want to see.
Okay, so we're just gonna heat it up right now.
And then don't burn yourself. Maybe use your straight edge to like.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that cool? So you can try. Oh, you can start over as much as you need to.
That is awesome. Okay, that's good to know. Do you have any more tips or tricks or anything that I should be aware of before I begin? So we went over how to apply this. As long as I have a straight edge, I don't really need my pencil. Create a template and
yeah, just come up with a fun pattern. Cut it straight, as precise as you can be is as great as it's going to turn out on the piece. You know, so you don't have like gaps later.
Do you use filler by any chance? If you did have gap, did you have any gaps?
I didn't, but I would assume that you could use wood filler just like you would on any wood.
Okay, perfect. Do you think I need the protractor? As long as I have a straight edge?
If you have the cutting mat, I think you're fine.
If I were to buy a pre-cut tray, do you think I'm going to have more trouble or?
You know, I don't, that's interesting because I use like the rectangle and then I flipped it over every time I ironed on and used the actual back as my straight edge to cut that off. So with the pre-designed tray, you're just going to have to measure or just pencil that length and cut that.
Yeah, I made this tray from scratch, right? Do you know, like, before the prices went up for wood, do you know maybe how much the general cost was for you making the tray?
Yeah, so you know, the whole thing was under $20 because the edge banding was like a $7 roll, and then I used 1x3 oak to surround the tray, and then the bottom I used scrap underlayment. So if you went and bought like a whole 8x4 underlayment sheet, it would cost you a little more, but I only used like, you know, this much of it. So
yeah, and I saw you have like a full video on that in your highlights, so if anyone wants to refer to that, like you actually have that completely saved. And how long did it take you for the tray versus your furniture flip? Because there are two different sizes. And
right, the tray, it was maybe like a 1x2 foot center. It's pretty big. I think it took me about 45 minutes just to do that part of it with the cutting, ironing, all of that. The furniture flip, it took me a little bit longer, but still not too long. It's a pretty quick way to do something because you're not having to use a saw. You're not having to like pre-measure everything because you can cut as you go.
And you did this all indoors? Well, like, you can do this indoors, basically. That's the nice part about this.
Yeah. So, I did this a while ago, and then I basically reintroduced this on my Instagram when I had my newborn, because I was looking for like a living room project, and this is kind of perfect for that. You don't have to.
Awesome.
Yeah. You don't have to use a saw. You don't have to get outside. It was really easy to do. So,
hey, we're going to give this a go. Thank you so much for being here, for creating this hack and sharing this with us.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Perfect.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, so what do you need to know about this? It's obviously beginner to intermediate friendly, really depending on where your skill level is, really depending on what pattern you choose. I had a really easy time with the table because there's no edges, but I had such a hard time with this because I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. Start at the edges if you have something with a border, and then focus midline later because you have your template there, and then start long pieces as well. You're just safer starting with that. And yeah. Okay, next, other things you need to know is it works on paint. It does not work on painted surfaces, but it does, however, work on stained surfaces. It works on melamine. It works on stained surfaces. And if you do have a painted surface, just try to sand it down as much as possible to get some good adhesion. You know it's not sticking because it starts to roll up a bit. Another thing to note about this would be that obviously it does not require power tools. You just really need a box cutter and a cutting mat or either a speed square. Now you also can do this indoors. It's safe to do indoors, just don't cut yourself. And then the only thing you need to be outdoors for is if you choose to stain this or paint this. So, all your call. Another thing you should know about this is do not try to bend this over. I mean, you can try, but it won't really bend over nicely. It will crack like this. And even if you apply heat to it, it will crack just like that, and it's rough. Even if you apply heat to it while it's bending, you probably won't have the best of luck either with it. Now, you should also know that it's an alternative to wood, and it allows you to do it indoors, which is just so nice. And it is customizable. You can do whatever you want, whatever colors you choose to do. You can do separate individual strands with this. You can have as much fun as this as you'd like. And if you see here, I have leftover piece, so I can go over and do more with this. Price of this is still relatively affordable. Like Emily said, that tray cost her like $20, but she made the tray herself. I would say this cost me like $12 in material. The tray itself was like $7, and then this piece itself was like $7, $8, but I didn't use this all. And I have leftover, so I never count that into price because I can do more with this. And then same with this, that probably cost me $8, $10, and I have a lot more to go with this. So, relatively affordable, doesn't create too much depth where it makes it heavy. It's not too heavy, but it does create texture. The pieces do have, a nice design feature. It has little crevices. The stain penetrates in it really nicely. So you have all of this as an option instead of going with wood, which is super nice. You just need an iron, a box cutter, and the iron-on really. And then about either a mat or at least a speed square. So this is something you can do, totally your choice, and options are unlimited on what you can do this on, what you can do this for. So yeah, if you do this, make sure you hashtag edge banding hack, give Emily a follow, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future for reviews. I'd love to know. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.